Good morning, one and all. I am Professor S. Papi from Department of Obstetrics and Gynecological Nursing. Today, I am going to talk about anatomy of skeletal system. Coming to the anatomy of skeletal system, it is one of the most remarkable tissue in the human body. So far from inert and lifeless, bones are living, dynamic in structure. So you all know the bones are only living and dynamic structure in our body. So bones serve as a wide variety of very diverse function within us. Noted for its strength and resilience during life, bones will remain after a long gone. Once a soul is departed, the bones and the body are remained in a body. So skeletal system is very important and remarkable mark in a human body. So we are going to see the entire skeletal system in detail. Skeletal system. The parts of the skeletal system. We have the bones, that is called as the skeleton, joints, cartilages, ligaments, bone to bone, tendon, bone to the muscles. So the skeletal system is broadly divided into two divisions, that is axial skeleton, and other one is the appendicular skeleton, that is the limbs and the girdle. Next, the bones of the human's body. So you all know the skeletal system, that is skeleton has 206 bones in a human body. The two basic types of bone tissue are compact bones and a spongy bone. So compact bone is a homogeneous bones. And then a spongy bone is a small needle-like pieces of bone. So many are open spaces. So we have two bones, as you know, it is compact and spongy bones. In spongy bones, we have many open spaces and a small needle-like pieces of bones. It is clearly given in this picture, that is the bone, that is the spongy bone and a compact bone. You can see in the left side of your slide. And then microscopic anatomy of the bones. When you go to a microscopic anatomy, under microscopic, you can see the structure of the bone. That is, the parts are sharply fibrous, compact bone, blood vessels, periosteum, central cavernous canal, perforating canal, blood vessels, spongy bone, blood vessel continues into medullary cavity. And when you see the cross section, that is the lamellina, osteocyte, lamella, central, and matrix. So these are the things present in the microscopic anatomy of a bone. And next, the skeletal cartilages. What are skeletal cartilages? So skeletal cartilages are initially our skeleton is made up of cartilages and fibrous tissues. So skeleton is mainly made up of cartilages and fibrous tissues. So gradually our skeletal cartilages are replaced by bones. So upon reaching adulthood, the skeleton becomes almost fully ossified. The bones get ossified when we reach our adulthood, that is during our adult age. Only few cartilages remain in the adult skeleton. So others will become as a big bones. This is about the skeletal cartilage. And what is the basic structure and type and location of the skeletal system? The skeletal cartilage is made up of some variety of cartilaginous tissues. So each type contains high proportion of water, which makes them resilient. So each bone and cartilage has its own water content to make it resilient. So cartilage has no nerves or blood supply. It is surrounded by a dense tissue membrane called a perichondrium. So it doesn't contain any nerves or any blood supply towards it. Only composed of a deep tissue membranes. So the bony structure, type, and the location. There are three types of cartilage tissues in a bones. That is hyaline, elastic, and fibrocartilage. Each contains a matrix of jelly-like substance, that is a ground substance, and the fibers. Each that is present in each bone. Next is the cartilage. You can see in this picture the cartilage of an external ear, cartilage of a nose, articular cartilage of a joint, costal cartilage, And the costal cartilage is present in the lungs, and then the cartilage in the intraventricular disc, and then meniscus, that is pad-like cartilage in the knee joint, that is articular cartilage or in the knee joint, and then symphysis pubis cartilage, and this hymen, elastic cartilage, and fibrocartilages. So these are the cartilages that are present in our human skeletal system. And functions of the bones. What are the main function? It supports the body, protection of the soft organs, movements due to attached skeletal muscles, that is what like walking, adduction, abduction, all these movements are done by our bones of our body. And then it helps in storage of minerals and fats, and also helpful for the blood cell formation. These are the main functions of the bones of the skeletal system. And next, what are the functions of the bones? So one by one we will see. First is support. How does it support? The bones provide a hard framework that supports the entire body. And then the bones provide support for the internal organs. And protection, how it is protected. So it is fused by bones provided by a brain cast that protects these vital tissues. And then spinal cord is surrounded by the vertebra. Rib cage protects the vital organs. So the spinal cord is protected by the vertebra, where the rib cage, where the lungs and heart is protected by the rib cage, by that are called as the vital organs, where the bone, that is the brain, is protected by the bones around the brain, is called as skull, that is also a vital tissue. So this is what it is helpful in the protection of human body. And next is the movement. So skeletal muscles attached to the bones uses the bones as a levers to move the body. An arrangement of the bones and joints determine the movements of the possible. So this is helpful in the movement of the body. And next is the mineral storage. Bone serves as a mineral reservoir. Phosphate and calcium ions can be released into the bloodstream for distribution. Deposition and removal are ongoing. So once the mineral gets deposition and then it gets removed is one of the vice versa process that occurs during in the bone formation and in the structure of the bone. So this is what we tell as the mineral storage. And blood cell formation. So it is helpful in the hematopoiesis occurs within the narrow cavities of long bones. The majority of the hematopoiesis occurs in the bones. And coming to the classification of the bone. So classification of bone. So each bone vary in size and shape. The unique shape of each bone fulfills a particular need. So bones are classified by their shape as long, short, flat, or irregular bone. Bone differs in distribution of compact and spongy osseous tissues. So this is the classification of bone. It is divided at long bone, short bone, flat bone, and irregular bone. So you can see the long bone, that is the humerus, short bone, that is tripside, flat bone, that is sternum, and irregular bone, that is the vertebra, which lies in the left anterior view of a bone. Bones are classified by its shape, that is long, short, flat, and irregular. So when you see the classification of bone on the basis of the shape, that is long bone, short bone, flat bone, and irregular bone. So the examples are given under below, that is long bone, that is the femoris bone, short bone, that is carpus or rest bone, flat bone, that is the bone of the skull, that is the parietal bone is very flat, and irregular bone, that is the vertebra, where each bone differs from the other bones. And next, the classification of bones, the long bones. When we see the long bone, it is typically longer than wider, have a shaft with hands at the both ends, contains mostly compact bone, example femur and humerus. So these long bones are very wider, that is longer, and also it is most compact bone in our body. So the femur bone is very compact bone in our body. And next is the types of the bone cells. Types of the bones, that is osteocytes, which has only the mature bone cells, and osteoblast, which is the bone forming cells, and osteoclast, which is bone destroying cells, and breakdown bone matrix for remolding and release of calcium. And bone remolding is a process by both osteoblast and osteoclast. So this is the structure, that is types of bone cells: osteocysts, osteoblasts, osteoclast, and bone remolding. So what is the bone fracture? So whatever that happens in the fracture of a bone, that is the breakage of a bone, is called as the bone fracture. So any break in a bone is called as the fracture. What are the types of bone fracture? When we see the types of bone fracture, it is closed, that is the simple fracture. Closed, it is a simple fracture that break down that is break down and penetrate into the skin is called as the closed fracture, is called as the closed fracture. And what is an open fracture? That is the compound fracture, that is broken bone penetrates to the skin. And bone fractures are treated by reduction and immobilization, and realignment of the bone can be done. That is called as the bone fracture. And what are the common types of fractures? So the fracture type is the comminuted fracture. So you can see this picture, and then the description, that is the bone breaks into many fragments, is called as communicated fracture. That is particularly common in aged whose bones are most brittle. And compression, that is the bone is crushed, that is osteoporotic bones, common in porous bones. Next, depressed bone, it is bone portion is pressed inward. Typically, that occurs in a skull fracture. An impacted fracture, that is the broken bone ends are forced into each other. So commonly occurs when one attempts to break or fall with an outstretched arms. Spiral fracture, that is a raked break, occurs when exclusive twisting forces are applied to the bones. Common sports fracture. Greek strike fracture, that is the bone breaks incompletely such a way in a green adults. Common in children whose bones are more fragile or flexible. In those cases, this green stick fracture occurs. So we have seen these types of fractures: comminuted fracture, compression, depressed, impacted, spiral, and green stick fractures. So the stages of healing of the bone, that is, first one is hematoma formation. Once the breakage takes place, there will be hematoma will be formed. There the hematoma is formed in between the bones, and then fibrocartilage calcus formation, that is in the internal calcus, the fibers in the tissue and the cartilage breaks down and gives the external cartilage where new blood vessels comes, and spongy bone cranicula occurs, that is called as the fibrocartilage calculus formation. And what happens then is the bony calculus formation. Once there is a repair has been done, the bony calculus of the spongy bone occurs, and then it leads to a bone remolding, where the healing process completely takes place and the new bone get remolded. That is the stages of the bone healing, that is hematoma formation, fibrocartilage calculus formation, and then bony callus formation, and then bone remolding. And axial skeleton supports and protects organs of the head, neck, and trunk. That is called as the axial skeleton system. Axial skeleton, that is the skull, cranium, and facial bones, hyoid bone, anchors tongue and muscles associated with swallowing, vertebral column, vertebra and disc, and bony thorax, ribs, and sternum. Appendicular skeleton includes bones of limbs and bones that anchor them to the axial skeleton. Then appendicular skeleton, that is pectoral cradle, that includes clavicles and scapula. Upper limbs, which includes arms. Pelvic girdle, which includes sacrum and coccyx. Lower limbs, which includes legs. Articulation, where joints meet, connect, and are formed. That is the axial skeleton. There are 22 bones in a skull, that is 6 in the middle ear, 1 hyoid, 26 in the vertebral column, 25 in the thoracic cage, and 4 in the pectoral grid, and 60 in the upper limbs, and 60 in the lower limbs, and 2 in the pelvic girdle. And overall, we have 206 bones in overall human body. This is the complete description of the human bones in a human body. And you can see the bones we have given in a clear picture in this skeleton. You can see cranium, face, clavicle, scapula, sternum, humerus, ribs, coxa, radius, ulna, femur, patella, tibia, fibula, teres, metatarsals, falcicans, metacarpals, carpal, vertebral column, and hyoid. These are the 206 bones that are present overall in our human body. Next is the axial skeleton. It forms the longitudinal part of the body, which is divided into 3 parts, that is skull, vertebral column, and the bony thorax. This gives the longitudinal axis of our body. So you can see the axial skeleton, which gives the longitude, that is the upper limb and the lower limb in the posterior view, and this is the anterior view, which includes cranium, skull, facial bones, clavicles, scapula, sternum, bone, that is the bony thorax, ribs, humerus, vertebra, carpals, femur, patella, tibia, fibula, and teres, metatarsus, and phalangeans. And the skull, we have eight sutured bones of cranium, that is facial bones, we have 13 sutured bones, and medulla, we have one medulla, and cranium, that is it escapes, that is it in cases of the brain attached from the muscles, and sinus, that is also present. And then this is the bones of the skull. So where we have a parietal bone, that is a squamous suture, lamidoidal suture, occipital bone, temporal bone, external auditory meatus, mastoid process, mandibular cortical, sphenoid process, cymatic process, coronoid process, coronal suture, frontal suture, sphenoid bone, arthoid bone, laprical bone, zygomatic bone, temporal process of zygomatic bone, maxilla, and a mandible. Bones of the skull. You can see a coronal suture, parietal bone, frontal bone, temporal bone, sphenoid bone, nasal bone, arthemoid bone, zygomatic bone, maxilla, mandibular, middle nasal colichia, inferior nasal colicha, and alveolar margin. These are the bones of the skull. And next you can see the fontanelles, that is anterior fontanelle and the posterior fontanelle, frontal suture, frontal bone, sagittal suture, which allows of the growth. These are the important points which allows for the growth of the skull. Human skull and superior view, you can see a sphenoid bone, temporal bone, internal octus meatus, parietal bone, occipital bone, foramen of magnum, frontal bone, sella tunica, foramen ovale, and jugular foramen. So altogether is the cripiform palate and cristallate together is called as the ethmoid bone. So this is the superior view of a human skull. Next is the inferior view. Inferior view, you can see the hard palate, that is the maxilla, palatine process, palatine bone, zygomatic bone, temporal bone, vomer, mandibular fossa, stynoid process, mastoid process, temporal bone, parietal bone, maxilla, sphenoid bone, foramen ovale, carotid canal, gingular foramen, occipital cordae, and foramen of magnum. This is the inferior view of the human skull. Next is paranasal sinus. This small portions allows the bone surrounding the nasal cavity, that is the frontal sinus, ethmoid sinus, sphenoid sinus, maxillary sinus, sphenoid sinus, frontal sinus, ethmoid sinus, and maxillary sinus. Next is the vertebral column. So vertebra separated by the intervertebral disc. The spine has the normal curvature. Each vertebra is given a name according to its position. You can see the anterior and the posterior view. So the first is called as the first cervical vertebra, that is atlas. Second cervical vertebra is called as the axis, and then is called as the thoracic vertebra, transverse process, spinous process, and then intravertebral disc, intravertebral foramen, first lumbar. So here when you see the posterior view, cervical curvature which is concave in shape, that is seventh vertebra, it has 7 vertebrae, that is C1 to C7. And then thoracic curvature which is convex in shape, which has 12 vertebrae, that is T1 to T12. And then lumbar vertebrae which is concave in structure, which has 5 vertebrae, that is L1 to L5. And then the sacrum which is convex in shape, which is have 5 fused vertebrae. And then the coccyx, that is the last part, which is composed of the 4 fused vertebrae. Vertebral column, it has 7 cervical vertebrae, that is cervical vertebra, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 1 sacrum, and 1 coccyx. Vertebra vary in size and its morphology according to its sizes. So you can see this vertebral prominences, rib prominences, intravertebral discs. intravertebral foramen, sacrum, and coccyx. You can see the cervical vertebra, thoracic vertebra, and lumbar vertebra. You can see the curvature, that is the cervical, concave, convex, concave, lumbar vertebra concave, and pelvic vertebra which is convex. This is the according to which size the bones, that is the vertebra, is divided. Next is the structure of the typical vertebra. When you see in the posterior and anterior aspect, posterior, you can see the spinous process, labia, vertebral arch, transverse process, and superior articular process, pedicle, and vertebral foramen, and the body. This is the structure of the typical vertebra. And thoracic cage, it has ribs, thoracic vertebra, sternum, costal cartilages. True ribs are directly attached to the sternum, that is, first seven pairs are directly attached to the rib cage. Three false ribs are joined at the seventh rib. Two pairs are floating ribs, that is the thoracic cages. Thoracic cage that is present in the vertebra. And next is you can see the thoracic image, that is the thoracic picture, thoracic vertebra picture. First, you can see the numbering 1 to 10, where 1 to 7 is called as the true ribs. From 8 to 10, it is called as the false rib, and 11th and 12th is called as the floating ribs. And you can see this thoracic vertebra, manibrum, body, xiphoid process, ribs, and costal cartilages. And joints. Coming to the joints, joints are fibrous joints that connect bones without allowing any movements. These bones of your skull and pelvis are held together by a fibrous joints. And cartilages joints are joints in which bones are attached by the cartilage. These joints allow for only little movement such as spine or the ribs. Synovial Synovial joint allow for much more movement than the cartilaginous joints. Cavities between the bones in the synovial joints are filled with the synovial fluid. This fluid helps lubricate and protect the bones. Bursa sacs contain the synovial fluid. The joints or articulation is the place where two bones come together. There are three types of joints classified by the amount of the movement they move, that is immovable, slightly movable, and freely movable. So this joint is classified according to its movements into three, that is immovable, slightly movable, and freely movable. So there is an articulation between these joints when they two come together. What are the types of joints? That is hinge joint. The hinge joint allows extension, retraction of an appendix, that is elbow on the knee. Example of an hinge joint is an elbow on the knee, where an elbow you can adduct, you can retract, you can extend your bone. That is called as hinge joint. And ball or socket joint, that is the ball and the socket joint allows for radical movement, is almost in any direction. They are found in the hips and the shoulders. These are the example, that is called as the ball and the socket bone. And next is the gliding bone. In a gliding or a plain joint, bone slide past each other, that is the mid carpal and the middle carpal, that is tarsal bones or gliding bones. And next, saddle bone. This type of joints occur when the touching surface of two bones have both concave and convex regions, with the shapes of two bones completing one another and allowing a wide range of movements. The example of this bone is the thumb bone. And types of synovial joints based upon its shape, you can see A, B, and C. First one is a plain bone where you can have in the carpals, and second is a hinge bone where you see in the ulna or in humerus, and third one is the pyote bone where you can see in the ulna and radius. So here is the non-axial, uniaxial, biaxial, and multi-axial bone joints are present in this synovial joints. And how it is again divided, that is codential, other types are codential joint, which is the example of metacarpal, and then saddle joint, which is example of carpal and metacarpal, and last is the ball and the socket joint, which is the head of the humerus or the scapula. These are the types of synovial joints. Next, disease and conditions related to its skeletal system. So far we have seen about the bones of the skull and its cartilages, and also the joints of the skeletal system. So what are the conditions and disease associated with this skeletal system? So one, you can see this arthritis. So arthritis is nothing but the rheumatoid arthritis, especially which affects the joints of the body, both the sides equally. may initially begin with the couple of joints only, and most frequently the affected joints are wrist, hands, elbows, shoulders, knees, and ankle. The point that is rounded and given in the red will show you the areas where the joints get affected and which results in the arthritis. So mainly the affected parts are wrist, hands, elbows, shoulders, knees, and ankles. And next is this is the stages of the rheumatoid arthritis. You can see clearly in the hands of a patient, which is clearly explained here. This is the late stage of the rheumatoid arthritis. You can see the deformity of the tongue and the ulnar deviation, that is metacarpolingual joints. When the ulnar is completely deviated, and then you can see the deformity of the fingers, which is in a swan neck like shape. So this is the latest stage of the rheumatoid arthritis, and I hope you all understand. So far, coming to the summary, so far we have seen about the skeletal system, overview about the skeletal system. So what is skeletal system? What are its functions? What are the bones about the body? We have seen about the long bones, short bones. Altogether, we have a sum of 206 bones are present inside in our human body. Bones about the skull bones, skeletal cartilages, each explanation about the cartilage, synovial joints, and also the other bones and the bone classifications, the classification of bones and the joints of the skeletal system, the exact joining where it joins. All this we have been seen in our skeletal system. Hope you all understood my class. And coming to the reference, the books which I referred for this content, that is the anatomy of the skeletal system. There's a Ross and Wilson Anatomy and Physiology in Health and Nuisance, that is 13th edition book, even